Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you like what you hear, you can like and subscribe, please. And I'm going to talk today about the difference between tax-free savings accounts and retirement annuities. There's two products. They're slightly different, and I'm going to go through that with you to explain to you the benefits of both, maybe some advantages of both. Okay, so let's start with the retirement annuity. So retirement annuity, for example, if you've got a pension fund at work, you can obviously pay into your pension fund. And obviously, if you don't have a pension fund at work, or sometimes self-employed people, they pay into a retirement annuity. But you can pay in additional to your pension fund. So the thing with the retirement annuity, you do have limitations on to what you can contribute. So you can contribute 27.5% of your salary at this stage, the current legislation, up to a max of 350,000. So basically that works out, if you're earning like about 100,000, then obviously 30,000 will be more than 27,500, because obviously that's the 27.5% of 100,000 is 27,500. Okay, so you can pay that in. If you do pay anything in excess of that, what happens, that will get carried on to the next year. So if you do pay more in, you can carry it on to the next tax year, and then that can also get rolled over to the next tax year, and so on and so on. So if you do pay extra, it's not the end of the world. It'll roll over and then eventually it'll roll over until you get to retirement age, and then they will use that as part of your tax-free lump sum. So your obviously your tax-free lump sum, it's a lifetime thing. If you get you get up to, at this stage, you get up to 550,000 rand tax free, that's non-taxable. After that, then there is tax rates to pay on the amount after that. And then obviously with your retirement annuity, you will get your amount as a tax-free amount, which is you'll have it available. In other words, now with this two-pot system, you'll have your savings and whatever, but and then your vested pot, your 1/3 of your vested pot. But you'll get to, when you get to retirement, they'll say, okay, here's the amount that's available to you to take cash, as a payout. Some of it will be non-taxable, and then the 2/3 will go to paying out a monthly income. And then with that 2/3, you can then decide if you want to have a living annuity or if you want to have a guaranteed annuity, which depends on you, but I will cover that at a later stage as well. Okay, so basically the difference between the retirement annuity is it's tax deductible. So in other words, if you pay in however much you pay in per month, you can deduct that from your tax. So when you come to the end of the tax year, then you can say, let's say you're paying say 1,000 rand a month, that's 12,000 rand a year. When they get to the end of the tax year, you take your salary, say for example you earn 100,000, then they minus that 12,000 off your tax, and then they work out off your gross, and then they rework out your salary, your taxable income. And then obviously if you've been paying on the full amount, then you're going to get a refund on that. So it is tax deductible, so you don't pay tax on that. So that is a benefit. But you do, however, pay tax when you receive the money. So it's tax deductible when you're paying in, but when you receive the money, it is taxable. But it's to an extent, like I said, you do get up to 550,000 tax-free. If you have taken a lump sum before, then I think they do take that off that limit. So So that's the difference. And then the if you look then at the tax-free savings account, your tax-free savings account, you're using after-tax money. So as you pay money in, it's not tax deductible. You're paying in after-tax money. You pay it in. The growth within the fund, same as with the retirement annuity, the growth within the fund is non-taxable. Okay, so both products, the growth inside the fund is non-taxable. When you get to retirement age, okay, even before with a tax-free savings account, also the difference is when you take the money out, and you can take it out at any stage. You don't have to wait for example, retirement annuity. You must take out between the age of from 55 onwards. You can actually retire from the fund. Even if you don't retire at work, you can retire from the fund, and then take your lump sum, and then take your monthly start getting your monthly amount. But obviously your taxes, if you retire at 55 from the fund and start getting a monthly pension from the fund, then obviously you're going to pay a lot higher tax rate than if you over 65, because obviously your tax rates are lower when you're over 65. So that's another thing to look at. So now the other thing is with the growth inside the funds, they're both non-taxable. The tax-free savings account is just the foreign dividends. There is a withholding tax there on the foreign dividends. So that's the only part but in other words, your money can grow tax-free. With a retirement annuity, when you take the money out, it is taxable to an extent, and then obviously your monthly pension is taxable. With a tax-free savings account, the money you draw out, which you can draw out at any time, you don't have to wait till you're 55, whatever. You can draw it, you can leave it in. Obviously, the longer you can leave it in, the more it can grow. So your tax-free savings account, when you take the money out, you don't pay tax on it. So you don't pay tax going in, you don't pay tax going out. Retirement annuity is tax deductible going in. Some of it is taxable coming out. Okay, so that's the difference. Also, the tax-free savings account is you can pay in up to 36,000 Rand for every tax year, and the current lifetime contribution is 500,000. So as soon as you reach 500,000, you're not allowed to pay more in, obviously unless they lift the limits in the meantime. And if you've paid in your 36,000 Rand, say you're paying 36,000 Rand this tax year, the current one we're in now, then you're not allowed to pay anything in. If you pay more in now, then what you pay in, you're going to pay 40% tax on. So that's not a good idea. Then what you can do is from the 1st of March, because the tax year ends the end of February, from the 1st of March, you can then start paying in again. You can pay in your 36,000. So in other words, that's 3,000 Rand a month. 3,000 Rand a month you can pay in. And after the 12 months, you'll get to 36,000. Or you can pay in less and then sort of pay an extra if you've got the extra money or whatever. Try. What I would suggest is try and pay a max of 36,000 into your tax-free savings account every year, and then you'll reach your lifetime limit after about 13 years and about 13.8 years, I think it works out at. So, but keep a record of what you're paying in. Try and pay in, and then because it is a huge benefit to allow your money to grow. For example, let's say instead of paying into a tax-free savings account, you say, okay, that's fine. You can take the same tax-free after-tax money. You can say, right, let me put money into like a unit trust or something, and then the same money you put into a tax-free savings account. So let's say over that year, say for example, you pay in 500,000 into your unit trust, and let's say you're paying 500,000 into your tax-free savings account. Let's say they both grow to 1 million Rand. Okay, so which is fairly possible at 15% to annum. It should double over 5 years. Okay, at 15%. So let's say they both grow to 1 million. Now you want to take the money out with the tax-free savings account. You don't pay any capital gains. You don't pay any on the if you just bought a unit trust like that, then what you would have to do then is you would take your base cost, which is 500,000, and then minus the million which you get out. So you get your million, and then but you must minus the 500,000 base cost. So your capital gain would be 500,000. So you would pay capital gains tax on 500,000 rand. Whereas if you put it in a tax-free savings account, you would pay zero. You would pay zero. So you see the benefit. But they do give you a limit. That's why they give you a limit of 500,000. So it's very wise. Look, you can use both. You can have a brokerage account. You can have a tax-free savings account with a brokerage. You can most tax-free savings accounts you can actually have, like, for example, ETFs and unit trusts. Satrix have one where you can buy different unit trusts and ETFs. I think some of them, possibly some of the tax-free savings accounts, you can even buy shares or stocks on the stock exchange. But your ETFs are obviously more diversified. Okay, so yeah, so you see the difference between investing in a tax-free savings account and just investing normally. See, obviously you can do both. You can actually do both, and I'll explain to you how the capital gains tax works in another video as well. Okay, so so there we go. So if you had to ask me which is best, I would say they're both excellent products. Both, I would say, try and contribute to both. If you can grow your money, then you can get your tax-free amount. In an RA, you can get your monthly out, and then you can have your tax-free savings as well. Obviously, your tax-free savings account, you will get dividends as well. Obviously, the ideal is you can actually, if you can grow your brokerage account and your unit trust and your tax-free savings accounts and grow everything, and then you actually can almost live off dividends. That's the ideal. But that, if you start early, because obviously then you've got compound interest on your side. If you start early, then you can definitely do that. If you start a bit later, it's not the end of the world. There's a lot of people who are behind on retirement, but the thing is, start now. Start today. We in this current tax year now. If you haven't got any savings towards retirement, or you haven't, start today, or start Monday. Start paying into these. Start looking at opening a tax-free savings account. And by the way, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take this as financial advice. I'm just giving you some of what I know about the industry, and it's very worthwhile products. So use them. They're there to be taken advantage of. Your tax-free savings accounts, your RAs, your other products as well. Okay, so hopefully you can hopefully you can understand a little bit more about these. I'm going to cover the two-pot as well, because I see there's a lot of confusion about that. I mean, it came in September. There's still a lot of confusion about the two-pot and how it works. I see, the comments from people. I really need to get that out there. And then, I want to talk about a lot of different things. If you can think about anything you'd like me to talk about, please let me know. Let me know I want to actually talk about like PE ratios and stuff like that, start to explain about investing and things on the stock market, how things work and that. So please just let me know. And again, a disclaimer, it's not financial advice. But yeah, hopefully you found this entertaining and informative, and have a wonderful day.